I've made it clear if you take part in the wave of domestic terrorism against Tesla properties, we will find you, arrest you, and put you behind bars. Today, I'm proud to announce that the Department of Justice has unsealed federal charges against another Tesla attacker. We've charged Cooper Frederick in the firebombing of a Tesla dealership that occurred on March 7th in Loveland, Colorado. All of these cases are a serious threat to public safety. Therefore, there will be no negotiating. We are seeking 20 years in prison. The crime was committed in Colorado, and thanks to the great investigative work by the FBI, the defendant was arrested in Plano, Texas. Let this be a warning. You can run, but you cannot hide. Justice is coming.
Shane, Shane, Shane. Shane, 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 Shane. A-L-A-N, Allen. A-L-A-N, Allen. Allen, 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 Allen.
Hey, it's the 38th Parallel, episode 50. 50. When I first thought of doing the show with Alan, I was like, it'll be like, 10, maybe 15. Now here are 50. And I don't know what to say about that. What do you think?
This is the show that didn't even have one banger season, but it got renewed for season 2 like halfway through, and now they're like, but it was supposed to be a mini series, but now the studio wants 50 shows, so we got to give them 50 shows. So
I know, it's crazy. Who would have thought? Who would have thought?
Yeah.
I know. Look at us. It's like the hot ones, Power. Look at us, like
Yeah,
we used to
have that as one of our buttons, and we took it out because, just you got to refresh them every now and then.
Yeah,
I'm waiting for ChatGPT to finish generating the. Oh, it's done. Here, I'll send this to you. I'll let you decide if you want to put it in the show or not. This is happening live, folks. We're recreating this entire show in anime in real time.
Oh boy.
Yeah. So I just sent you the intro of the show. It's pretty dope.
So while I go get that, the video that I just played at the intro, it was of Attorney General Pam Bondi talking about those Tesla fires and people burning up Tesla buildings and saying justice is coming. Now I saw that tweet originally because someone quoted it and said, "Why does this give off 90s video game cutscene vibes?" And when you see that video, it kind of does look like that.
I don't know. I mean, to me, the question is like, we've been sitting around for years waiting for the public at large to finally lose their shit and just overthrow the government. But this is it for them. It's key Teslas. Like that's it. That's what we're getting. Are we gonna go into DC and actually go into the offices and take the Epstein files out by force and publish all the names and then round up all the pedophiles? No. We're going to key some Teslas. Jesus.
Yeah, what's wrong with that? I saw someone with a bumper sticker on their Tesla that said F Elon. So they're really sticking it to him.
It reminds me, I had a college professor my freshman year at Maryville College, and it was an expensive school, private liberal arts school. Whoa. And you would have that occasional, I know, little dropping a little factoid in there, just how smart and special I am. There would always be the occasional freshman who would be like, I don't need this crap. I know everything there is to know. I'm whatever. This class is stupid. And he would always just pull out his wallet. And this dude must have thought that he could take anybody that jumped him, because his wallet would always be just just exploding with cash. Because he would take his wallet out and he would just show the class just a wad of hundreds in it. And he'd say, look, I've already got your money. You can leave if you want to. I don't give a shit.
Huh.
And that's Elon about all this. Like, if you're driving around in a Tesla, he's got your money. You do whatever you want with it.
Well, it's like
As far
the
as
Bud
he's
Light
concerned, think of it. Think of it this way. As far as he's concerned, all the Teslas that are getting blown up, he already sold them. If even a fraction of those people go buy another Tesla to replace that one, he just made more. It's like the broken window. You're generating more sales for Elon. You're not even hurting him.
He's like, yes,
it's ridiculous.
Please burn down more of my Teslas. Yes.
So stupid. Yeah, that was the intro to the show.
Look at that.
Yeah, you want to know the prompt for that, which just. Man, what a great one. The prompt for that was, recreate this image in Studio Ghibli. Make the lady look like she's an older woman trying desperately to hold on to her youth. I think it did a pretty good job.
Yeah, I mean, there you go. Right there.
I think it did. There you go. Yeah.
Wow.
Whatever, dude. I'm all in on the AI slop. I don't even care.
How dare
Bring
you?
it on. Dude,
You know, the funny thing, though, is that because now you can do that, and I don't know how... true to whatever, like Hayao Miyazaki, kind of being the mastermind behind all that. I'm sure he's like, I worked hard for all this stuff. Now I'm gonna just hit a button, put a little sentences in, and now my stuff's just there. Like, come on.
Well, I mean, it's like, so first of all, obviously, people are just making like a bunch of stills and stuff. They're not actually making like feature-length films.
Oh, you wait.
Like
wait. That's gonna happen.
But even then, it's like. Of course, our type of people are like, I don't give a fuck about IP, so I'm gonna make all the images I want. I don't care.
Mm-hmm.
But that being neither here nor there, at the end of the day, it's like, imitations is the finest form of flattery, or whatever the quote is. So it's like if this were happening to you and I, if like all the biggest podcasters out there were like, man. This 30th Pillar show is just fucking wild, man. So starting next week, it's going to be like Rogan and Tucker Carlson are going to do a side by side, and the intro song's going to be Joe Tucker Carlson. If that was it, then would you be mad? Would you be mad because they were stealing your idea, or would you say, wow, look how awesome we are that they want to be us? You're supposed to be flattered that everyone is choosing to mimic your particular art style.
I mean, yeah,
hi, Dave.
That's a good point.
Dave, we were talking about you earlier.
Yeah.
Happy birthday, Mary.
Happy birthday.
It's Mary's. Yes, it's Mary's birthday.
No, but you make a good point. I mean, it'd be kind of like, oh, I guess maybe they are watching my show, or someone saw a clip and go, oh, that's pretty funny. Maybe we'll do that for 1 or 2 episodes. Yeah.
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 Imagine what Tom Myers thinks of us. He's like, man, those guys can't get enough of Tom Myers.
Shh. Just one day I want to see a comment. I saw you guys. I wanted to see an actual episode of the show because I heard you guys on the 38th Parallel. You're like, what the fuck's 38th Parallel? He's gonna look it up.
Yeah.
Is that some like Korean history podcast?
Yeah.
You'd think.
Yeah.
But no.
And then he's gonna be like, man, those people only got like 200 views. And then he's gonna say, damn, that's like 70 more than me. Or whatever. I don't know. It's whatever. We're all embarrassments.
It's funny though. You mentioned that whole AI thing. Actually, this is something that I wanted to show you, but I'm glad you said that. So this is a good segue. So congratulations,
okay.
Alan, you did it. So I'm gonna show this here. Is that showing? There you go.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah.
Choi said, yeah, Meta just announced Mocha. I don't know how it's supposed to be pronounced. Anyway, this AI can create full movie quality talking and singing characters from just speech and text. 10 wild examples. Now, I think down here in this Twitter thread, I think he even says something along the lines of, "Yeah, still needs some work," because you can tell,
Yeah.
that this isn't, but
Yeah.
So like, look at this one.
City of stars.
Like the
Just one thing
face looks kinda weird.
everybody
Oh, tired of him being gone,
what?
being drunk.
I said it before and I'll say it again. Life moves pretty fast. You don't stop.
Much too lonely here, Joe. Wouldn't you like to go back to New York?
If I go back to New York, yeah. So I mean,
Yeah, like, it's one of those things. It's that whole uncanny valley thing, right? Like you see a lot of that stuff, and it's like you just instinctively know it's not right. It's not real, and it kind of makes you uncomfortable. When they can eventually reach the point where that doesn't trigger in you, then you'll know like they've made it. But like with this stuff, you're like, yeah, these are, these aren't the eyes, the shiftiness, and the blinking, and just the weird emotional, like, because they were talking about like emotional range. It's like, that's something they need to work on, because like, people don't really act everything out when they're like, that's a stroke. That's what that is.
Like you look at a meme or something, or what is it? A mime. That's what it was.
Yeah, a mime.
Yeah,
same thing. Yeah.
I get my words mixed up.
It's all right. I haven't seen a mime in a long time. Just think, pretty soon no one's even going to know what a mime is.
I know, it's a dying art, literally.
Yeah. Maybe that's the thing for us. Maybe we can do a mime skit, and that'll do numbers. Yeah. Yeah, but see, everybody does the glass box. We got to do mime of, like, can you mime 9/11? Now you're onto something.
Oh.
Hey, don't try. Let's move on to the next.
I was like, how am I gonna do this?
That was more of a rhetorical question
Yeah.
of can you, not can you, Shane, do this?
Oh, you watched the Minecraft movie? Oh, that's
actually straight garbo. My God, I can't. I about lost all the respect I can for these people this week. It was an experience. Yeah, I bet it was. Gross. What's the last movie you went to go see in the theater?
Oh wow. I don't remember. Wow, it's been that long. And we used to go to movies quite a while. Jeez, I cannot talk. Quite a lot. And now I can't even remember the last time I went to a movie theater. When did Endgame come out?
So Endgame came out in like 2019 or something?
Yeah.
Because it was like pre-COVID.
Yeah.
So I was actually going to say, I know I went to the theaters and saw Endgame, and I don't remember if I've seen a movie in the theater since then.
Yeah. I think that might have been it. I don't know. I'm not 100% sure on that, but it wouldn't have surprised me if that was it.
Wow.
Yeah. Another dying art, movie theaters.
Yeah. Boy, it couldn't happen to a better group of folks. Yeah.
Now you got streaming. Everyone's just sitting on their ass. Let me see what's on Netflix. Let's see what's on
Yeah.
there. We go to Hulu.
Well, like there was that kind of, that's like a relic of COVID, where it's like, well, if we're gonna make movies but no one's gonna go out, then we just, it's like all movies are straight to DVD, God willing. It's just straight to streaming, because that was like that's how you knew the movie was bad, right? Is that it doesn't even get a theatrical release; it just goes straight to whatever. But then real movies were doing that because they just needed somewhere to go. They were like, well, we've got this movie here and nothing to do with it. But I feel like nowadays, like sometimes it's kind of like 50-50. Like sometimes you have big movies come out and they're out in the theaters, but like you can stream them like in a week.
Yeah.
It's
But-
like whatever.
They'll be out in the theaters and then they'll be on a streaming service 3 months later or something. Where before, a movie would go out in the theater and then
It'd be like a
you'd wait-
year.
Yeah, a year, even sometimes 2 years for it to go out on DVD, to go to Blockbuster or Hollywood Video. Hollywood Video, remember that one?
Yeah, we had a Hollywood Video, but I almost never went there because I almost never went to Blockbuster because those were the rich people. You know, I go to the local town. We
Yeah,
had the video
right.
shop,
Ooh.
the video shop, which was one half pawn shop and one half movies and,
Oh, yeah,
and video
that's-
games. Yeah, that was the spot. Yeah,
You can get a movie.
because that was the.
You can get a movie and a gun
I mean,
if they
Yeah,
have it
I
at the
mean-
pawn shop, or a used baseball bat or something. I don't know.
yeah. I mean, who hasn't watched Taxi Driver and then thought, man, I really need to get that little contraption that slides the pistol out of my
Yeah.
sleeve. Like I'm not saying that I'm going to wear that around all the time. I'm just saying, wouldn't it be cool to have that in your closet? You know, to show people like, hey, check this out.
Yeah. Yeah, Family Video was another one too. That was another one.
We had Silver Screen and we had the Video Shop, which were the small town. And we also had Carl's TVs, which was just like back in the really old days when TVs were still huge, giant mantelpieces with a TV in the middle.
Yeah.
There was Carl's TVs. It was like TVs and appliances, and they had one row of their store had movies and stuff in it. I remember renting Star Wars from there when I was a little kid and telling like my mom and dad like, hey, we should, this looks like a fun like science-y movie. Let's get this. And it was Star Wars because my mom and dad weren't like, they're just not, they're not like pop culture, film, music critical type people. So like if it wasn't for me being curious, they would have never been like, hey son, you should watch Star Wars. It's a fun movie. This is a cultural experience. If it wasn't for me just figuring it out, then it would have never happened. Same thing with like Lord of the Rings. I'm of the firm opinion that it is your duty as a man to have your like sons read Lord of the Rings and learn life lessons about masculinity and honor and friendship and sacrifice. And my dad was like, then read it. Fuck off. It's like, then read it if you want to read it. You can read. Oh, look at this guy.
Yeah. Like, how old are you?
Mr.
8?
Reader
Yeah, you're
over here.
supposed to be learning how to read at 8 o'clock. Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, man,
My
I don't know.
My dumb brain said 8 years old, but I almost said 8 o'clock. So that's where I'm at right now.
It's been a long week, I guess. I don't know.
I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Dave says nerd because Dave is of the opinion that reading is for rich people. So.
Reading is for rich people. You can literally go to like a used bookstore and get a book for like $1. Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, I don't know. Reading is activity of the bourgeoisie, right? We don't.
Oh, wow.
It's
Look
working
at you with
class
your
folks.
fancy War and Peace. Ooh. Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. If you want that, just go enlist. Quit
Yeah.
being a faggot.
Or what you could do, because I saw someone say this, you could read Hazlitt. You could also read Mises. And
Oh,
read
shit,
Rothbard.
here we go.
You remember that? Yeah, read Rothbard.
I feel like this is a segue. It feels like one.
You know what I'm talking about, though, right? You saw that. tweet,
Yeah, I
right?
know. Yeah. I know.
If all you have to do is just read Hazlitt, and you're good to go. That's all you need. Well, thanks a
Yeah.
lot, sir. That's really going to help me out. Yeah. How many books do I need to read from Hazlitt? How many? You can't just say read Hazlitt and then move on. Like, come on.
I've been talking off and on all night with my friend Mike about just some shit going on in the news right now, and all these people who suddenly have decided that they're experts on X, Y, and Z, whether it's tariffs or whether it's whatever. And he's been kind of getting pretty frustrated about it. And I told him, to be honest with you, I don't fight with people about it anymore because I just mute and block everybody. It's the same thing. So you said it's like you're making fun of the people who are like, just read Mises, read Rothbard. You know who I actually also make fun of? The people who say things like Bitcoin fixes this, just stack sats. You know what? Bitcoin actually doesn't just fix this. So you keep buying more Bitcoin, and I'm sure that the empire is just going to say, well, they bought Bitcoin, guys, so they're impervious to our fucking bullets. Dude, when the tank comes rolling down the street of your neighborhood.
Let me get my Bitcoin real quick.
Yeah. This is a Bitcoin wallet. That's it. That's what's going to happen.
Okay, like people who have Bitcoin, like you're saying, the maximalists, where they go, just put everything in there, and da-da-da. But if you like diversify your portfolio, put some of it in there, that's fine too. Why is it got to be one? Why is it got to be all or nothing? You know.
Look. If you wanna put money in a store of value, if you wanna make an investment, that's fine. But it's the exact same thing as me saying if you would just buy some IBM stock, then there won't be a war with Iran. What? The empire doesn't give a shit about what stocks you buy or where you invest. They're going to do what they want because it's all about power. And look, I get it. It's like, oh, we're going to fix the money and save the world. It's like, I mean, all right. I feel like you're missing some steps, but hey, do it, man. Look, man. I'm over all that. I don't get on the internet and argue with people who say these dumb things anymore, because it's just like, hey, man. Good luck. Fight the power, buddy. You read Rothbard, and then if that saves the world, then I will be the first one in line to say, hey, man, I'll be the one to start the slow clap because you saved the fucking world by reading Mises.
Do a little golf clap.
Yeah.
Well, thanks.
We used to have one of those too, but now we just have.
Oh, I got some clapping. There you go.
Yeah. There's laugh, and then there's laugh into applause. It's kind of a different vibe, Yeah.
That's like one of those, like a stand-up comic says a joke, they'll laugh and they go, "Oh my god! Not only was it funny, he made a good point." Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Laugh into applause is Yeah.
Yeah.
If only I had a producer that would hit any of those buttons. So anyway, what was the segue into the next?
Well, I mean, I guess we're talking about now, talking about reading Rothbard and reading Mises and Hazlitt and the other guy. I can't remember who the other person was that he mentioned in his tweet. Whatever, it doesn't matter. But like the whole Trump's tariffs. Oh no, like the funny thing though that I'm looking at is all the, because I saw Andrew Yang. Andrew Yang. He knows what he's talking about. So I do like what he said about it, because I think this is really good commentary from this guy. So if I can find it real quick, I'm pretty sure I bookmarked it. I'm pretty sure I did. Pretty sure I did.
Are you hate following Andrew Yang?
I don't actually. Do I even follow him? No, I don't. I don't follow him. Okay. He said, "I fucking hate these fucking tariffs because they're so fucking stupid." Your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, they are stupid. They're a tax. So I thought we weren't for taxes, but it's whatever.
Well, I'm probably going to say this argument wrong about that. But it seems that a lot of people who are kind of for what's going on is that it's for, because, and this is interesting too, America's greatest ally, Israel, has had tariffs on America before this. So it's like, wait a minute, hold on a second. Why were they implementing tariffs? And now Donald Trump's like, oh yeah? Well, how about I put some on your black ass? How about that? And then here we go. So I guess we're not their greatest ally. I don't know what happened there. That was news to me. I didn't know that. I've seen even some of the biggest Israel supporters being like, wait, hold on. Wait a minute. That's peculiar.
Well, I mean, at the end of the day, the only thing you have to know about the whole tariff situation is, first of all, tariffs are a tax. And second of all taxes are just picking winners and losers. There will be people that benefit, and then everybody else loses. It's just like any regulatory action. There will be the people that benefit, and everyone else loses. And it's no different with the tariff thing. So there is no economic argument in favor of tariffs. Absolutely none whatsoever. The only even remotely feasible argument for the tariffs is that you go back to government pre-1913 and you fund the U.S. government with tariffs, and then you eliminate the income tax because you're funding the government with tariffs. But the problem is that, first of all, like let's say we're arguing in good faith, and that's the purpose. You have the tariffs, you eliminate the income tax. Well, those aren't the only steps, because do you realize how much money those tariffs would have to generate to pay for this fucking government that we have in 2025 versus the government of like pre-1913? There's not that much commerce. Like tariffs, the higher the tariffs, the less trade there's going to be. So it's not like if a country is currently trading, 100 million widgets, and then you jack up a 50% tariff, that they'll just keep trading 100 million widgets. The number of widgets they trade is going to go down. But even if you're making 50% tariffs on whatever is remaining, there's not enough trade. So the point being is that if you were trying to fund the government with tariffs so that you could eliminate the income tax, there would have to be massive, massive amounts of cuts to government spending. So now that we've moved on from the good faith part of this argument, because you know that that's all nonsense. Here's the two problems. First of all, if it were possible, if this was a legitimate attempt to make this happen, then in good faith, you would try to cut government spending some now just to simply demonstrate that, this is a process and we're going to move in that direction. We're not even 2 fucking weeks removed from them voting for more debt and threatening to primary anyone who refused to. So they just voted for more spending and more debt literally in the last couple of weeks. And you're trying to convince us now that we're going to have tariffs and that we're totally going to cut all that spending and debt. That's ridiculous. Anyone who believes that's just an absolute naive moron. The second thing is, and this is the biggest one, all of this is predicated on tariffs in, income tax out. When has government ever operated? Use the income tax as a perfect example. Income tax will be this, and it's only on the richest earners. You blink twice, and now the income tax is this, and it's on all earners.
Yeah.
Wow, it's amazing how that evolved, and who could have seen it coming? So you know what's going to happen when they jack up the tariffs? They're going to have the tariffs and the income tax, not the tariffs or the income tax. That was never on the table. If you thought that for a second, you were just an economic illiterate piece of shit. And the fact that there's people out there, I saw one of our friends, and I'm not going to name who they are, but they're just comically naive at this point. They said that, well, we don't believe that they're telling the truth. Who's they though? I have no fucking idea. They're not telling the truth on tariffs. Tariffs aren't actually going to have these negative consequences. They're only going to be good for us because we're evening the playing field. And these people who are trying to tell us that tariffs are bad, they're just trying to shut down discussion in the same way that the COVID people tried to shut down discussion. It's like, how are you analogizing like the COVID regime and tariffs? The problem with the COVID regime wasn't that you had the right or wrong opinion. It was that if you didn't have the government's opinion, they would hurt you. That was the problem. It wasn't differences of opinion. It was being different with the government's opinion. In the tariff situation, the they is not the government. The they is basically any economist with half a brain. And this isn't something that we have no data on. We have hundreds of years of economic data that clearly demonstrates that tariffs are always a net negative. Always. 100%. So it's just not debatable. It's and they're certainly not the same thing. And by the way, if you're defending tariffs, in essence, you're defending the Trump regime. If you're trying to say that that the experts are wrong on tariffs and they're trying to silence our opinion, just like the COVID people did, who was Operation Warp Speed? Who had the massive increase in spending and national debt back in 2020? Like, how are you divorcing Trump from that stuff, but then defending Trump on this stuff? It just doesn't jive. These two things are not the same thing at all. But all of that can just simply be summed up as, going back to what I said in the beginning, they're a tax, and all taxes are going to benefit one group and everybody else loses. Tariffs are exactly the same way. What I suspect, if you want me to give you a prediction, like, let's say these tariffs stick for a while. Of course, there's going to be a massive economic collapse, but we'll forget about that. Let's say they collect some revenue with the tariffs. Where do you think that revenue will go? What do you think the government will do with? Now, keep in mind, I've already told you, they're not going to get rid of the income tax. They're going to keep taxing you, and they're going to keep printing money. We already know that. So since we already know that, what do you think they'll do with the money that they raise from the tariffs? I'll give you a list, and you tell me which one's the most likely one. A, they'll pay down the national debt.
Yeah.
B, they'll lower or eliminate the income tax, federal income tax. C, they'll just spend it on more boondoggles. Or D, because this is kind of related to C. This is a funny little fourth option. They'll end up using it to bail out the industries most affected by the tariffs.
Oh.
Ah.
Now
that's 4D chess
back.
right there. Yeah. That's 4D chess, my friend. We're gonna raise a couple of $1 billion in tariffs and then give it to General Motors because of the tariffs. You people are so fucking stupid. All right, I'm sorry. I'm good.
Okay, so a couple of things. One, did you know that Joe Biden also implemented tariffs during his administration? Did you know that?
Yeah. Did you know that Nancy Pelosi is for tariffs? Did you know that Barack Obama is pro tariffs? I've actually seen MAGA people unironically share clips of Nancy Pelosi and Barack Obama talking about how tariffs are good, and they think that that's evidence of them being right as opposed to evidence of them being wrong. How did we get here? Like, you people, like, your entire platform is, we're not Nancy Pelosi and Barack Obama, and now you share policy preferences with them, and that convinces you that you're right on this. If your basis of being right is what Barack Obama says, then just go fucking vote for Barack Obama. What's MAGA? What is it?
Michelle when she runs in 2028.
Yeah, she's gonna win, dude. She's gonna have such a bigger dick than JD Vance. It's over. It's over, dude.
Okay, so another thing that I wanted to ask about this, and then we'll move on to something a lot more fun to argue about. But I've seen people say that, well, the main reason that this would be done is it's like a protectionist type of mindset. You know, you're protecting American manufacturing. You're trying to not have all this offshore stuff happening. Like, you know, I don't want all this stuff happening in China or in Vietnam. I want it happening here in America.
Okay.
And so I guess the tariffs would be kind of something to help, I guess, boost that.
Okay. So great thing to bring up. So here's the problem with that. So it's really more mercantilism than anything. But here's the problem with that particular argument is, okay, if you look at charts that that measure manufacturing output, the United States is as efficient of a global leader of manufacturing as it has ever been. It's just that manufacturing jobs have gone down. And I understand that for the regular man on the street, that's what they're most concerned with. I don't give a fuck how many widgets that robot can make. I need a job. I get that. But just to be clear, so that we're talking about the same thing, manufacturing hasn't gone down. Manufacturing jobs have gone down. Okay, why is that? It's not just the foreigners working for slave labor. It's technology. Technology has made it so that so many more jobs are automated. It's no different than a dude with a forklift can move a whole bunch more shit in the warehouse than a whole team of dudes without a forklift. That's what technology does. So if you have a couple of dudes in a forklift, they can run your whole warehouse. You don't need a team of 10 or 15 people. So like 10, 12 of those dudes lose their job. So your manufacturing output hasn't gone down. If anything, maybe it goes up, but your manufacturing jobs went down. So, okay, then, but where did the jobs go that went overseas then? Because there's all this manufacturing happening overseas, and there's this reshoring movement. That's what they're calling it. We want to reshore all of this manufacturing back to the continental U.S. Okay. If a job got replaced by a robot or a machine, then you're not getting that job back. Technology's doing that job now. If a job got replaced by a sweatshop in China, then the only way that job's coming back is to say we're going to either use tariffs or just legally ban that product from entering our shores. We're gonna go back to sewing up our Nikes ourselves. Okay, let me ask you this question. I'll answer your question with a question.
Yeah.
All these people who want manufacturing jobs to come back to the United States, when they think of it, when they visualize that in their mind, do you think that they're thinking about like $40 and $50 an hour union jobs with benefits and vacation, and that they're going to get to just sit here and thread shoelaces through Nikes for that much money? Or do you think that they're thinking about having to sit there and painstakingly sew up Nikes for like minimum wage and no benefits and no vacation, no anything? They're thinking of the former, right? They're thinking of, this is going to be like a union manufacturing job, like GM or whatever, and I'm going to make like $50 an hour. Mm-hmm. Those jobs went overseas because that's not what they pay. If you bring those jobs here, then the next problem is going to be Nike's going to say, I guess we'll open up a warehouse in, Arkansas to start putting these shoes together. But we can't afford to pay these people more than like $8 an hour. And then the government's going to come in and say, well, we promised people manufacturing jobs at a living wage, so you got to pay everybody $30 an hour. Then either it goes back to Vietnam or your pair of Nikes are $800. That's it. That's the only way this happens. So I think the people that are in this whole reshoring movement are drastically overestimating how much Americans want menial labor line work for minimum wage. They don't. Everyone says they want those jobs back in America. No, you don't. You think that because, again, in your mind, you're thinking, well, I'm going to make $80,000 a year. No, you are not. Those jobs are going to be like for teenagers working at minimum wage, and that's still going to be too much, by the way. The price of your Nikes will go up if they pay you minimum wage. Imagine the prices of your Nikes if they start paying, like, you guys all union. The UAW comes into town and puts the Nike shoe union together. These people are so economically illiterate, dude.
If you're paying someone $50 an hour for something, and you're charging some that product that they're making $50, that's nil. Like, you're not making any profit off that. So of course the company, they're looking at profit, because if they're not making a profit, it's over. Mm-hmm. So they're gonna charge it what? Before it was maybe $60 for the shoe. Well, now I'm paying you more Now I gotta jump it up to $90, $100 for that product. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'm retarded. You know, do I sound retarded when I say that? But I don't know. To me,
And it's
that
not
sounds
even
like-
that. And then there's the materials, and then there's the actual
you gotta go-
marketing
yeah.
and shipping and
Yeah.
receiving, and there's the insurance and the capital investment. You know, the warehouses and the equipment. There's remember, your employer's sitting there paying like half your Social Security and Medicare and all that crap. No. It's just A, not going to happen. B, people, again, I can't emphasize this enough. People in their minds think that, well, my dad worked at the steel mill and he made, you know, whatever, adjusted for inflation, $30 an hour, and they took that job and they sent it to some Chinaman. A, the Chinamen don't make $30 an hour, and B, it ain't coming back, and C, if it did, they can't afford that. It's gone. It's over. Or D, all of this is prefaced with they've just got a robot doing whatever grandpa used to do. It's just, people are so economically illiterate. This is, and also this goes to a comparative advantage. It's a little economic jargon for you. If Americans are supposed to be educated and healthy and able-bodied and have, you know, a higher level of competency with modern technology and whatever, then maybe the best use of your energy is not sewing together Nikes. Maybe the best use of your energy is working on something that takes a little bit more technical skill, right? And they don't have a bunch of people with technical skill. We have people with technical skill, but we don't have a bunch of people who want to work 50 cents an hour in a sweatshop. So let them do that, because they can actually earn a living doing that in wherever third world shithole they live in, and you do the more technically skilled job. Yeah. It's just, we're just not going to go back. Like, that's the thing, right? It's like, you know, that there's that whole meme of like the world you grew up in no longer exists. You can apply that kind of wisdom to a lot of this. Is, look, the world you grew up in doesn't exist.
So do you think when Andrew Yang, when I read that tweet from him earlier, you know, I fucking hate these fucking tariffs because they're so fucking stupid. Do you think, because wasn't he when he was running for president, wasn't he one of those guys? I mean, yeah, he was the guy, give $1,000 a month for everybody. Yeah, there you go. Because that was going to go, yeah.
The House Democrats have already made their own video that explicitly says that actually tariffs are good. It's just red tariffs are bad. We need blue tariffs.
Oh, well,
and I'm not even exaggerating. That's basically what the video says.
Like that one, they should do that one where like everybody makes their own, but it's like the exact same format, you know?
Yeah, like, yes, exactly. It's coming. Like the Andrew Yeggs of the world don't hate tariffs and understand why they're economically bad. They just want the tariffs to be tweaked to the levels that they believe and placed on the industries and on the countries of their choosing to maximize the winners and losers to their benefit. That's all. They want to have higher tariffs on the industries that are generally against their political ambitions, and lower tariffs on the industries that are generally for their political ambitions. That's it. They just want blue tariffs instead of red tariffs. That's why you hear the Nancy Pelosi's and Barack Obama video clips of them arguing for tariffs. They were arguing for tariffs because they felt like, well, we understand actually that tariffs are a tax and that it taxes, you know, a particular industry. Now, they don't understand that tax just gets passed on to the consumer. They think that they can put a tariff on, you know, whatever, gun manufacturing, you know, well, I think Glock is like from Austria or whatever. There's a bunch of European,
There's all things
H&K.
they don't like.
Yeah, H&K. Yeah, so like we'll put a tariff on that industry, and of course we'll just ask them super nicely to not pass that cost on to the consumer, because we still want people spending money and buying shit. We just want those individual companies to pay more money to us, because that's our tax on them for being not politically aligned with us. That's what they want to do. And the Republicans want to do the same thing too. The only difference is that the Democrats would never try to sell you on, we're going to have tariffs and then get rid of the income tax, because they don't want to get rid of the income tax. They want the income tax to go much, much, much higher. And it's always the make the rich pay their fair share. That's the game they want to play.
Yeah.
So they would never do that. But But other than that, but again, as I said, Republicans might say that, but they're never going to do it. So I mean, and that's a good analogy for Democrats and Republicans in general, right? Like we'll say that Democrats are evil, like they say they're evil, and then they do evil things. The Republicans say they're not evil, and then they do evil things. And so in a way, the Republicans are actually worse because they're liars. It's the same thing here. It's that the Democrats want higher taxes and tariffs. The Republicans will say they want lower taxes and tariffs, but then do higher taxes and tariffs.
Well, there was.
Why
this,
have you got me so mad?
I'm
Why can't we just?
we'll get on to some lighting things here, but I wanted to mention this too. So I'm looking at this chart. Full list of countries hit with reciprocal tariffs. China, tariffs charged to the USA percentage 67. The EU charged to the USA 39%. Vietnam 90%. Japan 46%. Taiwan 64%. South Korea 50%. Israel 33%. So the reciprocal tariff on them was 17%. So basically take the 67% that was charged to the USA from China, and the USA discounted reciprocal tariff percentage was 34%. So basically like half.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, I don't want to get into that, but just to simply point out that they didn't even do it right. Even what they said they were going to do, they just came up with some just wild, retarded equation that makes no logical sense whatsoever, and that's how they decided what the different tariffs were going to be.
Saint Pierre and Miquelon. What the fuck is that? 99%. What the fuck is that?
Well, they also put reciprocal tariffs on places that aren't inhabited. They have no manufacturing, so it's like,
So Nigeria gets 14% of a reciprocal tariff on them. Nigeria.
mm-hmm.
Falkland Islands, 41% reciprocal tariff. Falkland Islands.
It's also important
That's
to
crazy.
mention that there's a difference between free trade and fair trade.
Yeah.
Free trade is what you should be in favor of. Fair trade would be nice, but the world's not fair. What's fair? Nothing's fair. You should just be trying to do things to the freest possible extent. And look, again, all of this was sold to the public on, well, if we generate money, because Trump himself said several times publicly that, look, in the history of this country, the country was completely funded by tariffs for X number of years. It's like, yeah, that is a historical fact. That is true. So you guys cut spending like 2/3 in the next budget battle that y'all are going to have in however many months before the midterms. You guys ram through legislation in the House and Senate to cut the budget by 2/3, and then we'll talk.
I forgot that he also said read Bastiat. So, yeah. So just remember, Alan, read Bastiat, read Mises, read Hazlitt, read Hayek. And then that's it. You're good to go.
Good to go where?
You're good. You got all the knowledge now. There you go. Now go off. There you go. You don't need any more. No more reading. All you just read those 4 people, and then boom, that's it. You're set for life. So
I don't
sorry, I got
know.
you all worked up on that. Sorry.
Yeah, that's fine. I've emotionally moved on from the topic, so that's fine.
That's good. That's good because I actually wanted to show you something that I think you'll really enjoy. I think you'll really enjoy this. As the title suggests of this episode, Bill Burr says journalists need to get their balls back. Our boy Billy Burr is coming back. This man, he's been getting political lately. I don't know if he's been political a lot, even before, but it's really now in the forefront, especially since now he's really into that Hollywood. Like his feet are in Hollywood now. He didn't have like one foot in, one foot out. Like they're both in now. And so this is probably him being like, see, I'm a good boy. I should be the allowed Boston angry guy or whatever. So here he is being interviewed at some red carpet. I think it was for I don't remember exactly what it was for. I think he was doing a play or something like that. That's another. Yeah, he's doing plays now. Bill Burr, did you know that he's doing plays?
I didn't. He certainly isn't being funny anymore, so I guess dude plays.
Yeah. So anyway, here we go.
Tell us about your reaction to Luigi Mangione. I was reading up, that perhaps you've been supportive of what he did. What is your take on that?
If you were reading up, I don't think you read up on it. Because I said what I felt about it, and I said what a lot of people said.
Some people took it that way. So could you clarify what you think?
No, I'm not going to just have some controversial moments so you can get clicks. I'm not doing that. I'm here for Conan. I'm not doing all of this.
Oh, for Conan.
What do you bring up next? The Middle East? I went to summer school 3 out of 4 years in high school. I'm not qualified to talk about this.
I was just.
What do you think about global warming?
You said about Elon that he was ruining Earth. I saw on The View. You're critical of him. What do you think of all the boycotts, like even the violence?
I don't watch the news. I don't watch the news. I have no idea what's going on. I watch Instagram. I watch people wipe out on motorcycles. I watch lions and hyenas fight each other. This is the things that I do. And I don't think you should be asking a comedian. You're a journalist.
Comedians are on top of current events.
No. That's weak. That's you guys passing the buck. You guys need to have balls again, which you don't. You guys always goes, should we be thinking this? Duh. You guys present stuff like that. You guys used to have balls. You need to get your balls back. And it's not my job. I am a dancing clown.
Yeah, he's a dancing clown. He only watches Instagram videos of, tigers and lions or whatever fighting each other. This motherfucker is like, free Luigi. But then, so if we were to take him at his word, he doesn't watch the news, he doesn't go and research any of that stuff, then why the fuck free Luigi? What? Like, what do you mean by that? I'm just a dancing clown.
That's because he's taking that page right out of the old Jon Stewart playbook. Jon Stewart, back in the old days on The Daily Show, when he was a younger man than he is now, that was the same game he always played, which was if he said something that got lots of applause and lots of, yeah, you tell him, Stewart, then he would just bask in the glory and he would take all those interviews and he would give people a piece of his mind. But anytime he ever stepped a little bit too far over the commie retard line and said something that was controversial, then it was, I'm just a comedian, you guys. That is exactly what he's doing. Burr's a fucknut. Anyway, I'm glad that this happened because this gave me a reason to give you another piece of artwork. I didn't have anything since the intro to kind of like segue us. So now you have the middle part of the show in art form. There you go. I just sent it to you.
I mean, and that guy was like, well, stand-up comics, they're up on politics. Like, no, that's weak. How is it weak to just sort of know what you're talking about? I mean,
that's because again, he's basically defending his whole profession because he's trying to he's kind of it's very passive aggressive by him because he's trying to he's trying to say that, well, us comedians are dumb and unqualified. You journalists are at least supposed to be like educated and professional. And then he turns that into a criticism of, but you're not doing your job. It's like, okay, but well, then the next time on The View, by the way, the next time you go on The View and instead of doing your type 5, it's let me tell you what I think about Elon, everyone should say you're not doing your job. Right?
Yeah. And
right?
He's criticizing Elon and then someone goes, what do you think? Why are you criticizing Elon? Hey, come on.
And that's fine. That's fine. Yeah. Criticize Elon. That's fine. But he's telling the journalists that they don't have balls. You know what? If you're going to criticize somebody, then when you get called out for it, you don't have an explanation. You're a pussy. So Bill Burr needs to grow some fucking balls.
Yeah, he does need to grow some balls. Someone tweet at Bill Burr, hey, you should grow some balls, or comment on his Instagram.
Bill Burr 8 years ago, this wasn't him. First of all, he would. He would have never been in this position because he would have never run his fucking mouth off. But if anybody challenged him, he'd be like, all right, let's go. This guy's a bitch.
Yeah. He man, I'm
He
sure
fell
I've
off.
said this the last time we talked. Oh yeah, the last time we talked about this. But that why do I do this stand-up special? Oh, one of the best I've ever seen. So good.
Mm-hmm.
Let It Go, really good. Then when he got, I think the first Netflix special that he did, that was pretty good too. Then it started to fall off a little. It started to fall. I don't even know what he has a new one come out or is out. I don't even fucking know. It's on Hulu. Like what's he gonna talk about that's so crazy? And Bill Burr.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God, Bill! Did you see Bill Burr's new special? Yeah. No, like stand-up, like comedy specials. They're not specials anymore. They're called specials, but they're not special.
Yeah. Well, it's the same thing with like my thing with Louis C.K. has always been like there's like Shameless, and there's what was the other one? It's like I'm sorry you feel that way or whatever it is, but Shameless was a really good one, and it's like my two favorite specials he did were like 2008 and 2012. Like My Brother in Christ, it's 2025. It's
like
been a while.
Chewed
It's
Up.
been
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's been a while. Like we're reminiscing about when these guys were the right combination of storytellers, funny, and making a few jabs here and there about the world we live in, but it was funny and it wasn't obviously partisan motivated. I don't think any of us thought that Louis C.K. was a fucking conservative, 20 years ago.
But he seems at least sort of know what he's talking about, maybe.
Yeah, but he wasn't just a bleeding heart fucking liberal,
Right,
it's like you could just be funny, But again, it's like it's sad that when we think of like if you and I were sitting here thinking, well, man, Louis did this one bit that was really funny and he doesn't do those anymore, and then you realize how sad it is when you realize that the bit you're thinking about was from the early 2010s and now is over a decade later. It's
like
been a long
like
time.
Like the bit about the babies crying and yelling on the airplane.
Yeah. Yeah. So again, look, if those people want to criticize, whatever, something in government, politician, whatever, that's fine.
Yeah.
But just be able to back it up. Thank you.
That's pretty. Yeah. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. That's pretty good. With
The prompt. I sent him a picture from that segment, and it was recreate this image and make the man look confused.
Glad. There you go.
There you go.
Yeah. Wow.
It's like, what are you yelling at me for? Yeah.
Oh man, Bill Burr.
All right.
I wonder if it's because he finally went on Star Wars after criticizing Star Wars and its fans for years and years, and then he finally goes on The Mandalorian, which I mean is great show. I mean, I'm not gonna complain. Hey, The Mandalorian's great, but still, I think once he got into that Disney mold, it's over.
Yeah. I saw somebody. I probably shouldn't say this on the show, but I saw somebody comment that Bill Burr's making fun of Elon Musk. Elon Musk is banging Amber Heard, and Bill Burr's banging Harambe. I was like, holy shit! All right.
Well, I think his wife is a Hollywood producer, so she was in the mix when they got together. So maybe she's been molding him. Hey, inch by inch, little by little, we'll get you to be the Hollywood Boston, likable, the allowable Boston guy. Well, he'll be all right. So
the shtick is over for him, I think. Like that's the ultimate sad part is that if you were a really big fan and you're super disappointed, you have to come to grips with the reality of it. It only goes one way. Like Bill Burr is not going to disappear from the zeitgeist for 2 years and then do a comedy special in 2028 that is like a
amazing
throwback. It's not going to happen. It doesn't work that way. Louis C.K. is not going to do a comedy special like he would have done in 2008 next year. It's just not going to happen. It never.
I think he understands that, because I mean, if you go, you have to get it at his website. You can't just go to Netflix or somewhere to go see it. You have to actually buy it. So you have to be like a hardcore, diehard fan of his to go buy his stuff. Fine.
I mean, I don't even care about that. I just mean the content.
Sure.
The content is only going to be just liberal cuckery from here on out. It's not going to go back to being like edgy and based. That's over. Those people are gone.
Oh, well. Speaking of edgy and based.
Jesus Christ.
You can reduce the problem by 1 if you just simply kill yourself on the spot.
I don't know if he's going to... I mean, he's edgy, so I don't know. That might be too edgy for him. But we got another monologue from our boy Tom Myers. I bet you can't guess what he's going to talk about.
Nah, I wouldn't have any idea.
Let's go.
Is this I don't even know. Like, I don't know what Tom Myers looks like. And so I'm having a hard time.
Do you I mean, you can probably look up pictures of him. I mean,
well, I mean, I Googled him, but there's a whole bunch of different dudes. It's like, which one of these retards is the actual Tom Myers? I'm assuming it's the guy that's like bald all the way up to here and has like a little bit of like brownish red hair.
You would be correct.
Is that Tom Myers? Okay, okay, all right, I got him then. All right, well, you play this. I got to get this in motion.
Sounds good.
Hello, and welcome to Tom Myers versus the rest of the world. It's been a big week. Donald Trump once again floated the idea of running for a 3rd term as president. I think I'm not alone in saying the only thing I want to see him do 3 times is be on the receiving end of a prison gangbang. Donald Trump is how a young child diagnosed as a potential serial...
Wait, hold on. I'm sorry. I was distracted. Can we go back to whatever was just said before that? I'm sorry. What was the setup to gangbang right there? I'm sorry.
Hello, and welcome to Tom Myers versus the rest of the world. It's been a big week. Donald Trump once again floated the idea of running for a 3rd term as president. I think I'm not alone in saying the only thing I want to see him do 3 times is be on the receiving end of a prison gangbang.
Okay. The words that just came out of his mouth is that he wants to see Donald Trump
edgy. Yeah, very edgy.
Very, very gay. Very, very Pride Month. He should have saved that for June. But, all right. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Donald Trump is how a young child diagnosed as a potential serial killer kid imagines a president is supposed to behave. I mean, Trump has already brought on Kristi Noem, who killed a pet, as his cabinet. Like, he pretty much firebombs other countries, takes shots, shoots tear gas at protesters. If the rumors about him shitting himself are true, then according to the trifecta, we're really fucked. Federal court after federal court has...
Man, didn't even give the audience any... That was a hard cut right there.
Yeah, I was waiting like for the period.
Yeah.
Like,
or like
I don't know, did I miss it or...
Some of the laughter.
Yeah.
All right.
Blocked Donald Trump's executive orders. Trump hasn't had this many things blocked since his colon after eating too many meals from McDonald's. It must get to the point where when he takes a dump, his asshole must fire with the same velocity as one of those t-shirt cannons. Donald Trump's executive orders are basically like the drawings your child makes for you. You say, "Good job!" You hang them on your fridge, but you quietly look at them and go, "What the fuck is this shit?" At the time of...
Yeah, this guy's just going banger after banger.
Yeah, this has just been such a stream of consciousness monologue from him so far. Like, I don't... Someone needs to go in there and edit in some laugh tracks so that we know where we're supposed to laugh. I don't know.
If you can. I don't know if you can tell, but Tom Myers does not like Donald Trump.
Yeah. Last week was an aberration. We're back to just 24/7 Trump.
Oh yeah.
Recording, New Jersey Senator Cory Booker is on the floor of the Senate filibustering to save Medicare and Social Security. To be fair to the Trump administration, their plan to make Social Security solvent involves eliminating health benefits and workplace safety so that people will die before they can collect their benefits. Vice President J.D. Vance and his wife went to Greenland
Wasn't it a
and
joke.
It happened. Yeah. So first of all, that's just incorrect. No one has made any cuts to Social Security and Medicare. It's political suicide if they did. So that's just wrong. That's incorrect. Nothing he just said is true. It's not like you can't even pull that from some random news article and be like he's memeing this. There's no truth to that. He just made it all up. And again, like it was like, and this is the end of the sentence. So then anyway, Shane, it's like it just keeps going.
Right.
We're just on to a JD Vance now. We're just maybe he didn't have his crew to like, to sit there and laugh for him. Like if those obnoxious women were there, maybe he would stop to like give them a chance to laugh. I don't know.
Yeah, right.
There has to be a reason.
J.D. Vance and his wife went to Greenland and did a photo op, far away from the locals, on a military base and surrounded by a giant security wall. This was an alternative to the request of the locals who wanted the Vances to appear in public in a soundproof box so they could throw flaming bags of shit at them. The original plan was for Usha Vance to go alone, but with this administration's policies, there would be no guarantee that on a return, her flight wouldn't accidentally get her deported. Former linebacker Terrell...
Matt, see? Their own immigration policies are what's going to hurt them.
There hasn't even been a single just like token pun in the other way politically, just to like feign, objectivity. Like when he was doing the Cory Booker thing, I thought that it would be like, oh, he's going to make a joke about Cory Booker talking for a long time. So then he could say, oh, look at me, you guys. I'm totally objective and even, and then do another Trump. No, it was actually just about Trump. It's like,
yeah, he literally just told you Cory Booker has been filibustering for hours and hours. And then he leads on to, oh, the Trump administration sucks. Whoa. Oh, man. We would have seen that one coming.
Former linebacker Terrell Suggs was sentenced to 100 hours of community service for the charge of showing his weapon during an argument. That's a little harsh. I mean, to be fair, after playing in Baltimore for 16 seasons, you learn from the locals that flashing a gun is simply known as conflict resolution. It really does show how contemptible people find our city. Something like this gets reported on the news and the media's normal reaction is, oh, he played for Baltimore, of course. I mean, it is a normal reaction for a city that considers heroin one of the 4 major food groups. I have to say, for legal reasons, that's not true. We think of it as a dessert. And now on with the show.
Well, there you go. So.
Well, you know what? On the Tom Myers scale, the ending was better than the beginning. But that's on the Tom Myers scale.
Right.
On the not complete fucking retard scale, it was very bad. But on the Tom Myers scale, he didn't say the word Trump. It was kind of self-deprecating because he's from Baltimore. Like, it's just dumb old us.
Yeah.
So you know what? At least he saved his best for last. There you go.
Whoa.
How about that?
You hear that, Tom? High praise from Alan Mosley. Look at that.
Yeah. Our last
man.
was our sponsor, Sleep Retard. So
I saw that. Yeah.
You need to start doing. Yeah. I won't be here. I'll walk away, and you do a side by side comparison of like the It's Too Late monologue and the Tom Myers monologue from that week, and you can compare like start, middle, and end. And so for him, it was Baltimore's food groups, and for me, it was Sleep Retard. Whatever, fuck him. Mine's better. I enjoyed the hell out of it. All right, this is the last one you're getting. There you go.
Oh, man,
it took me a while to generate that one because ChatGPT did not want to do Tom Myers.
He probably was like, who the fuck is Tom Myers?
It kicked it out a couple of times before it finally let me do one.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it's hard to be more
right.
budget Louis C.K. than that, but
Yeah, budget Louis
Tom Myers
C.K.
is-
and Bill Maher all in one.
yeah, he's more like Bill Maher. I mean, Bill Maher sucks too. I mean, goddamn, man, it's just the delivery because there is no delivery.
Right.
It's just he's just reading. He's just reading off of.
Look at that.
Yeah, look at that guy.
Studio-
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
He could be
Not too
on.
bad.
He could be on CSI.
With that pose, yeah, he's got the look.
Yeah.
He's got. Oh,
Yeah.
sorry. Now I'm sounding retarded. Ugh. Why did I do that? No. Oh. I heard
With the
someone
background.
mention that whenever someone says something and then they immediately go into the song that they just said, like I just did that. He's got the look, and I just said the song. And oh god, now I feel retarded.
What is wrong with you? I'm worried about you. What's going on,
Oh
man?
man.
You. I think you're getting like cabin fever or something.
Maybe.
You need to get some air and just stretch your legs a little bit. I don't know. Like the intrusive thoughts are starting to win over there. It's what's worrying me.
I'm looking at this Tom Myers over here, man. He's looking real serious.
Yeah, that's super funny comedian right there.
Super funny comedian Tom Myers, but that's super
You oughta-
serious.
I don't even know if he has a Twitter. You should tweet that and tag him and see if he's like, oh, awesome, thanks, buddy, and him use that on the show or something.
So I believe he does, but he was one of those
I'm gonna go
fags who left Twitter to go to Blue Sky.
Blue Sky. Yeah. Oh my god.
Or Threads.
Okay, dude. Never mind.
He's one of those people. He was okay. He was one of those people that went to Mastodon.
All right. You know what that means is that he went there, and so he's not really tweeting anymore. But you know he's still logging into Twitter. 'Cause
Okay,
that's the only place
here's
where
his
you can
Twitter.
actually see
I'm sorry to
content.
interrupt. Here's his Twitter bio, Tom Myers.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure this is him because I mean, there's a link there that goes to his YouTube, so I'm guessing this is him. His last tweet: "I am leaving this site for good." Oh, thanks for telling everybody. I really appreciate it. You didn't have to announce it to the whole world. All right. Anyway, his bio says, "Fuck Elon Musk and fuck this site. I'm on Blue Sky," and then his link, "and verified at Mastodon." Link. So.
Yeah.
Edgy. Super edgy comic. I hate Twitter. It's too much for me. All right. We're in the home stretch. This is it. Here's the I promised this to you before we started the show that I was going to read this dating profile. Remember that?
Oh yeah. All right, let's hear it. Okay.
All right. So this woman's name is Gina, woman, because you never know these days.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm gonna tell you.
I want to preface this, by the way, with saying if the game we're playing is whether or not Alan would swipe left or right. I'm super shallow. It's totally based on looks. But continue.
Yeah, I'll tell you. I'll tell you the age last.
Oh God. Okay. All right.
Because
All right. Okay.
I know about the scale that you always mention about the scale.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay. All right. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. Here we go. Okay.
All right, Gina.
I'm very sick of pretending to be a cool, laid-back girl, so people want to date me. I'm insane. I am literally balls to the wall insane, and that is okay. Pussy is immaculate. Head game is otherworldly. I will treat you right, and I will also cry every day. High risk, high reward. There you go.
Okay, what's the age?
The age. Just like our president, 45.
Oh yeah, no, none of that's true then. Ain't nothing immaculate at 45. Sorry, but no.
So you wouldn't even test that theory?
Well, you think about it. So that's just factually incorrect. There ain't nothing immaculate at 45. But the other one.
How dare
So
you?
her head game is on point at 45. So what she's saying is I've sucked a lot of dick. Right?
Yeah, I don't know if that should be something you should be bragging about, but you know.
I mean, that is what you're saying. If
Yeah.
I told you that I had the sweetest jumper, you'd be like, "Oh, he shot a lot of basketballs,
Yeah,
right?"
yeah.
You don't
Yeah.
just do
Lots
it.
of practice.
A lot of practice.
Oh.
And she's 45, so she's gone. She's dead. She's dead plus like 6 years at this point.
Yeah. Jeez.
You see that? Her timer says like negative 1200 and something. That's what her. Actually, way more than that. Her timer says like negative 1800 and something. So.
Oh man.
Nah, man. Because see, I was expecting you to say that it was going to be like a young girl, like a maybe just out of college age, like maybe a 23-year-old who's like, I know that I'm banging.
Yeah.
Like, look, I could deal with the crazy part. But no. So first of all, now I don't even need to see a picture because she's 45, so she's dead to me anyway. If she were 35, then I would at least look at the picture, but it still would be a no based on that other stuff that we just discussed. If she were 35 and you took out the I've been run through a couple of thousand times part of her bio, then I could live with the crazy part.
Yeah. So that will be a no.
That would be that's a left swipe. That's a no.
Yeah. Like your eyebrows would have raised a little bit. Oh, pussy's immaculate. Head game.
No, my eyebrows wouldn't have raised because I've got my little filters set to 25 to 38. So she wouldn't. She doesn't even exist in my world.
Yeah.
That's
why I said last. Yeah.
You've been unpersoned.
I told you right there. 45. Nope. Nope. Don't even want to know.
That's what I love.
The perfect
the
woman. Nope.
Dude, I could actually. I will legit tell you, right now, for real, what I have my filter set to.
Okay.
I gotta give it a second to load because it's about to show me more whores. Sorry. Anyway, so adjust your filter. Okay. It's set to 25 to 38. Women, and that's women, not people who identify as women. That's women. Yeah. They have to be shorter than 5'8".
Okay.
And even if they were 5'8", it'd kind of be like, you're really tall. Like I'm not one of these people that I have some weird fetish for girls who are only like 5 feet or whatever. But I've dated a lot more short girls than I have taller girls. Yeah. I mean, when I say like tall for a girl, they have to be shorter than me. If I ain't gonna date no fucking Caitlin Clark, that's just not.
Yeah.
And ain't nothing immaculate there either, by the way.
She would be the one to go, "Oh, you have a good jumper. Let's test it out."
Yeah. And she just slammed.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Because she's
like the one woman who can do that.
Yeah. That's when you just post up and put that shoulder into her. Like, let's see your feminine little bones. Or anyway. No, she's got a feminine bone, if you know what I mean. So shorter than 5'8". What are they looking for? Long-term relationship, marriage, life partner. I do not look at profiles that look for ethical non-monogamy. That is unchecked. There's none of those. Oh, also intimacy without commitment. Ma'am, I'm 39 years old. So, and also you're a whore. So that's you're a whore. Do they have kids? No, they do not. Don't have kids. I wonder if that 45-year-old you were just talking about has kids or not. Matt, could you imagine?
Yeah, saying stuff like that. That's kind of, yeah.
Could you imagine, dude? Do they smoke? No, they do not. You do not smoke. And we already had this. Remember, we had this conversation about the weed thing.
Yeah.
Like, I don't judge people over weed, but it smells god awful, and if you smoke it, that's smoking.
Yeah.
Why is this controversial? And I've run into people, by the way. This is super controversial. Like, I'm not saying like you take some gummies to help you sleep. I'm talking smoking. If you consume weed by taking it and lighting it, that's smoking. You stupid. I'm sorry. How are you consuming that? Oh, I'm smoking it. Okay, then. It's weird that there's people that think that that's not smoking.
Well,
look, I don't smoke. It's just crack. It's not tobacco. Like, okay, you smoke crack?
There's literally smoke coming off of it. So there you go.
Yeah. And then there's like some medium preferences, like because you can mark like what's most important and least like those are 100%. Yeah. Those are the red flags. The drinking thing, okay. If they're sober, that's fine. I don't drink. So if they don't even have this filled out because it's just not important, whatever, that's fine.
Yeah.
If they explicitly say I don't drink, cool. If it says that they drink sometimes or they rarely drink, I don't care. Like if you put I rarely drink, then that's like some really hardcore honest person saying, well, I have a glass of wine once every 3 years, so I guess I can't put no. That's fine.
Right.
But the people who are like, you know what I mean? Like they're party drinkers. They're like, I don't drink a lot during the work week because I got work, but man, on the weekend we're getting drunk.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, ma'am. Sorry.
How old am I?
Yeah, you graduated college. Those days are over. And I didn't even do that in college. Like, but those days are over.
Mm-hmm.
The filters you can't even mess with. You can't even mess with, like, what are their political views. Dude, they're all a bunch of fucking liberal psychos. If you put no liberals, it just immediately goes to you've run out of matches in your area.
App just comes off this gets removed.
Yeah, it'll just say you just have to expand your, because the thing is you can also put, like, the radius in which you're looking, right? And it's like, I live south in Nashville, so if I put the radius of my immediate area, it's not going to be a lot of people. If I put the radius, like, 20 to 30 miles, and you're talking like Franklin and stuff like that, it's going to be more people.
Right.
If you put it up to like 40-ish miles to like South Nashville, that's going to be a lot more people because there's a lot more people in Nashville. That's fine. But even with that, then you have the problem of if I met somebody that I thought was my soulmate and they lived 40 miles away, we'd like 40 miles isn't going to stop me. Man, dude, I've talked to people. I've talked to people who have legit been like, man, this guy checks all the boxes, but it says they're like 25 miles away. Left swipe.
I mean, you could
what are you talking about?
Like, what are they expecting you to come to their house or something, or you to their house?
Dude, there you go, having expectations that they're going to contribute. Don't do that.
Yeah,
that's crazy. Don't do that. And there's others like you can put on here, like do they exercise? It's like I'm already looking at a picture of them. If they're hot and they say they don't work out, I don't care. Just like there's some people on here that a single raft could not support both of our weights, and they swear up and down that they're in the gym 5 days a week. I'm like, yeah, doing what?
Just on their phone, sitting there. Yeah,
that's a whole. We don't have time to get it. Right. So anyway, those are the filters that I use, and you could tell automatically that person you were describing, like they already had multiple X's.
Mm-hmm.
So. I have it set to 25 to, 25 to like 38. So that's where it's at.
Well, Alan, much continued good luck. Oh man,
It's. I mean,
you don't got that much time left, so you better hurry up and find that commitment real quick.
Hurry up, or don't worry about it. It's like, yeah.
So, anyway, Alan, where can they find your show? It's Too Late with Alan Mosley, Wednesdays at 9 p.m. Eastern time. Before it's gone forever.
If you go to Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, Rumble, wherever, it's at Alan Mosley TV.
Well, that's good. That's very good. I'm glad. Hopefully, people can go check it out. And I know there's a live event coming up real soon, so have fun with that when that comes up.
We are gonna have fun with that.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, yeah, it's gonna be dope.
There you go. All right, well, that's it. If we did 50 episodes, we might be back for episode 51. Because once you break that mold of 50, it's like, do I want to keep going with this? I think so. I think we'll keep going.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you might. Yeah. Now you're shooting for episode 100 now.
100, and then 150, then 200.
Well, 100.
All right. See you, everybody. Have a good night.